Hey people out there, my name is Vincent and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're completely new. And today I have a haul video for you guys, but it isn't a Breyerfest haul video because if you are active on my channel, you know that I already posted my Breyerfest haul video. But today I have a haul video from the Modellpferdefest Bensheim, or translated it would be Model Horse Festival Bensheim. For everyone who probably isn't German, because everyone in Germany probably knows the show. A little bit background story about this show. A lot of people call it German Breyerfest, which I don't really agree with, because obviously I've been to the real Breyerfest, so it's nothing compared to the real Breyerfest, but I get that a lot of people in Germany feel like this is the only kind of event that comes close to Breyerfest. However, it does confuse a lot of people, international people, because they think there is an event hosted by Breyer in Germany that is called the Breyerfest, which isn't the case. Just to clear things up, this whole event isn't hosted or sponsored really by Breyer. The Modellpferdefest Bensheim, the city is called Bensheim, this is why it's called Bensheim, is basically a big model horse show. The biggest one in Germany, in fact. I think there have been about 100 people entering this show this year, so there's a lot of competition and it becomes more and more international each year. I know that there were a handful of Dutch collectors this year and a couple of people from Russia attended as well. So actually a lot of people from the UK messaged me after the event. What I posted obviously on Instagram, and they messaged me about it, so they are kind of interested in attending as well. So it would be nice to see more people from other countries participate in the show as well. So the thing that makes Bensheim so special is not the fact that it is so massive. It is basically the fact that it is kinda hosted / sponsored, whatever, by the Breyer store in Germany, which is called AHS Spielwarenversand. I will obviously link everything down below. I wouldn't want to say it's the only Breyer shop in Germany, because I'm sure there are a couple toy stores that do have a few Breyers, but this store is known to be the Breyer store with the biggest range of Breyers, because they basically have all the new models, they have some old ones as well, they have some specials in their shop as well. So the show Bensheim is held in the same city where the shop is located. So a lot of people visit the shop after the show. I sadly didn't have time this year to visit the shop, but basically, since the show is hosted in this massive sport hall, whatever, in the entrance room, the shop basically has their sale kind of room, so you can pretty much buy everything that is in the shop at the show. Obviously there's a few models that they don't bring to the show, so it's still worth it to go to the shop and look around and whatever. That's probably the one thing that makes Bensheim so special, because you actually have the connection with Breyer that a lot of new releases are there to buy. And also the special fact about the show is that Breyer is kinda not sponsoring the show, but if you enter the model horse show, the entrance fee is 80 euros, which is fairly expensive compared to other shows. But with the entrance fee, you get a free Breyer model, which used to be a Breyerfest special run from the year before. But this year they actually had a Breyer web special that you got for free if you entered the show. And obviously when they have leftovers, you can purchase that model at the show as well. But another special thing about Bensheim is that the very famous sculptor Bridget, this is the way how you pronounce her in German, Americans usually say Bridget. She's attending the show each year as well. She's usually only there for a couple of hours. She is selling some seconds or any resins that she can find basically in a studio. So obviously a lot of people are like really interested in her work and what she's bringing, and she's selling out really quickly, obviously. But another special thing about Bensheim, the show, is that Bridget is making a special resin for the show each year. A couple years ago, it only used to be a Stablemate resin that you got if you entered the show as well, instead of the Breyer. So you could choose between the Breyer or the Stablemate Bridget resin. But the last couple of years, Bridget actually made a traditional scaled resin for the show that you got when you paid an additional amount of money to the entrance fee. And that's what I did this year. Long story short, let me just show you Flora, who is this year's Bensheim special resin. She is a Schwarzwälder Black Forest mare that is supposed to be the mare to one of the stallions. Bridget did as a special a couple years ago for the show. So she's actually really, really pretty. So she was actually the first model I picked up when I arrived. From what I have heard, she's limited to 40 pieces. And then now that I think 37 people who entered the show bought her. So I think they were only sold 3 more at the show. And I'm pretty sure they are sold out. So she's fairly limited. She's really, really nice. She's really, really detailed. She's got this lovely face, lovely Bridget sculpting style. Absolutely amazing. It actually says Flora on the belly. I don't think you can see that. And it's the signature of Bridget. And it says 2019. And she's also very heavy because it's full cast. It's not hollow. So first Breyer or Modellpferdefest Bensheim purchase. So, okay, moving on. I kind of want to go with them in the order I kind of got them, I guess. I got a few of the surprise stablemates. I actually do have the Alboroso, the silver one that comes in it, because I bought it from someone in the US, because it is so weird. I couldn't find this series anywhere in the US when I was overseas for Breyerfest. Literally, Erica and I, we have been driving around everywhere to try to find them. I think we only found them at 2 shops and they only had like 2 models left, and it obviously wasn't the Alboroso. And since I kind of fell in love with the Stablemate Alboroso mold and kind of want to conquer it, I obviously needed to get him. So when I first arrived at the show, they had 1 box out. Because I wasn't the first person to reach to the box, all the Alborosos were gone already. Throughout the day, I kind of stopped by that shop corner from AHS a couple times to see if they had a new box. And at one point, they didn't have any box whatsoever. So I asked the owner of the shop if they had any boxes left or whatever. I actually asked her if they have any boxes left at her shop, because I really want to get the model and I thought they would be sold out at the show, so I wanted to go to the shop. But she actually told me that they don't have any at the shop, but she still does have one at the show that she simply didn't unpack because she was too busy doing other things. So basically, she opened a new box just in front of me, so I was the first person to reach into it. And since I knew where the chaser piece was, I could tell from the very beginning that there wasn't the chaser piece, but I got 3 of the Alborosos. I actually gave 1 to my friend because I don't need 3 Alborosos. However, what I really, really liked was that 2 of the Alborosos that I got were really different. So the third one that my friend got looks kind of like this one as well. And this one is super, super dark. I don't know why my camera is focusing on me and not those horses. But this guy is actually really nice. If my camera will be focusing, there you go. He does have a scratch, and a scratch on the other side would kind of bugs me, but I think it's just the way they come in those boxes because they're really close to each other. But I think it's fairly cool to see the difference or the variation in those 2 guys already, because this one looks really nice, like a bay horse. I think this is what he's supposed to be. And this one actually looks like a buckskin or a dun to me, to be honest, because it's so light. They're both really pretty. I actually really like them. So yeah, I'm really glad that I got them, and actually 2 different versions. So I'm obviously keeping both of them. And then actually I ended up getting the Gypsy Venna as well, who's in those surprise bags, because I really don't know, but I think I kind of fell in love with stablemates. So I'm trying to collect more and more. And I think I really like the mold, and he's in Appaloosa. And since I was the first at the box, I was like, you know what, might just as well take a 4th one. So that is that. Really happy that I got them. And now we've got some horses in boxes. So first of all, we've got Malik, who is the classic from this year, which is sculpted by Sarah Mink as far as I know. I simply bought him because I want to customize him, and he was selling out fairly quickly. So since I passed the shop corner at the show fairly often, I could see how quickly they were running out of him. So at one point when I had like a minute at the show, I went to the shop area and bought her, and I think there were like 5 left of her. So obviously by the end of the day they were all gone, so I'm glad that I bought one while he was still there. Next, I got these unicorns, which are new for 2019, so they're fairly, or just came out. I obviously needed them again because I kind of want to conquer the Alboroso, but I actually also really like those two guys. I'm not really into those two, but I'm gonna unpack them in a minute and then we can take a closer look at them. And then at the very end of the show, when everything was done and I packed all my horses, I had some time to go shop for myself because otherwise I was afraid I would miss any classes. I ended up buying 2 traditionals that I planned in advance on buying. So first of all, I got the decorator from this year that is kind of the same as like Prism from last year. So his name is Bisbee, and I don't know, I'm kind of sucker for decorators now and anything fantasy really, so I had to get him, her. I'm really bad with genders today anyways. And then lastly, I got Buckeye. I'm so bad with Brian names, but I saw him in person at Kentucky and it's a stunning mule. He's doing dressage, so I think I passed him a couple times at Breyerfest, and I think I even saw him perform at Breyerfest. I'm not quite sure about that, but I obviously had to get him because they actually did a really great job of like matching out with his spots and painting him. And I actually tried to get a very light version around the mouth, so all the others were fairly dark. But anyways, I kind of really want to get him over here because I could have gotten him at Breyerfest already, but I know that my suitcase is already very full after Breyerfest, so I already planned on just getting him here in Germany. So now I'm just gonna get them all out of the box so we can take a closer look at them. Alrighty, so everyone is unpacked. So this is Malik. I think the color is actually really, really nice. I like the mold. Yeah, it's really pretty. I'm not a big fan of the mane and tail, I think. They're lacking some details in my perspective. But I think in general, it is a really nice model. I don't know my plans for it just yet. I was thinking of a unicorn with a lion tail, but then someone on Instagram did it already, so I don't know if I want to do that. Because you know how people are, they're just gonna scream that I copied someone, but we will see about that. And then we've got those tiny little stablemates that are actually really, really cute. First of all, we got those 2, which are the new mold, if my camera would be focusing. I actually, when I picked them out, I tried to look for some that aren't super glittery, that you still can see some of the details. I mean, I mainly looked at the Alboroso and I think he looks absolutely stunning. I mean, I made sure that he didn't have a lot of glitter on his face, so you can see still all the details. I think he looks really, really cool. And I'm actually really surprised that they don't smell. They really don't smell like anything. And I could have imagined that a material like this with like glitter and whatever would smell quite bad, but they didn't smell like anything. It's kind of weird because you kind of can bend her legs. I don't know if it's because of the material, because her leg is so thin. I don't know. But I mean, it's not the usual Breyer plastic, I guess, so therefore they're a little bit more bendy, but yeah, I actually really like them. Let's start with the decorator, which I totally forgot the name of it. But anyways, I think Breyer is outdoing themselves with those decorators because I think the idea behind it is so cool. I'm pretty sure it's based on a stone of some sort. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the mold, so I feel like they could have chosen a better mold, but I think it's looking really cool with the gold because it's really shimmery, and with the blue color, I think it looks so stunning. And I actually made sure that I did get a model that isn't like super full of those white spots. So this one doesn't have as many spots of some of the others that I saw in box. She's flawless. She looks so cool. I absolutely love that they chose the whatever it's supposed to be as like some sort of the marking. So it looks like she's got a snip and she looks like she's got a sock down here. So kind of connect those strange colors, pattern, whatever, with like realistic horse markings is, I think, a really cool idea. So love this girl. Lastly, I guess, we've got the mule, which is really, really stunning. I'm sometimes blown away of what Breyer can do for a regular run. Like, this pattern is crazy. Like, the amount of details that went into this, and the markings are all super, super crisp. Like, I'm actually really, really surprised that they do so well on some of the regular runs, and then some of the Breyerfest special runs, they don't look good at all. I don't know why that is, but anyways, I really like his face because it's fairly light. So that's the main thing that I've really looked for with this guide. So he has nice mouth shading. But honestly, I think it was the quickest Breyer buy for me ever with those two, because again, the show was over at like about 5 and I had to go straight back home. They actually started packing them back into boxes to bring them back to the store, because basically the show was over, everyone was leaving. So it wasn't like I had panic to pick one before they packed them away. It was more like I don't have time to look through all of them to make sure to get the best one. So obviously I did look through all of them fairly quickly, so it wasn't like, oh, I'm comparing this and that. It was more like, oh, this one looks good, so compared with some of the others and be like, okay, this is the one. So basically the two that I did pick out first were the ones that I ended up buying, if that makes any sense. So yeah, those are all the models I got, kinda. It's not obviously a lot. I didn't have any time whatsoever to even walk around and look at some of the tables, because obviously some of the showers do sell some of the models, which, by the way, there is a point that I want to address that I thought was kind of strange, because it never really happened to me, and I don't know why it happens so often at the show. But so many people, I don't want to blame anyone, but mainly younger collectors, have been asking me so many times if some of my models that were on my show table were for sale. And I'm like, those are the horses that I do show. This is still a model horse show. It's not like a flea market. Everything on my table is for sale. So the models that are for sale will be in a different corner, will be with a sign or whatever. But you can't imagine how many people came up to me and just like asked if some of the models were for sale, which I don't think came over as like super rude, but still it's something that I never experienced on any of the other shows, or ever really in my entire life model horse showing. Literally every 30 minutes someone came up and was like, do you sell this and this and this and that? I'm like, no, this is my show string. I'm not selling any of these models. And then a little bit more background information about the show. They actually do have a YouTube/social media meet that they have in the lunch break, which is around 1, I think. I kind of missed it this year, to be honest, because I was talking with Bridget non-stop. For whatever reason, I don't know how this happened, to be honest. Like, she just was walking around and then she stopped at my table. And then because a friend of mine wanted to get a model signed, I asked her if she could sign it. And then we just kind of started talking, and then she called me her colleague, because I don't know. I really don't know if she knew me or not, but I think she must have known me because she knew that I've sculpted and whatever. So she called me her colleague. We have literally been talking the whole lunch break, and she told me so many background information about Breyer, or the process of making a Breyer model and whatever. I was really, really happy that she talked to me, and really surprised that she talked so much with me. And then she actually came by my table at the very end to say goodbye because she was leaving. And then she actually bought one of my medallions, and I literally freaked inside. And then we took a lovely picture, and that's it. I actually missed one of my classes because I was talking to her, but you know, it's Bridget. You can't just, you know, let her stay there and be like, you know, I'm going to be back in a minute. So you just have to, you know, appreciate the time that she's investing in you, I guess. But anyways, that's kind of what happened at the show. I think that's basically everything I want to cover. Again, since I was so busy showing, I didn't really have any time to take any pictures or videos or whatever. I actually brought my camera, but I didn't really film anything really. So I know that there are a few people out there who have been filming a lot at the show, whatever. So I will link some of the videos down below for everyone who's like curious of what the show actually looks like. Yeah, that's it basically. I hope you found this video interesting in different ways of me buying models, of showing models in front of the camera, and the fact of me explaining the show a little bit more. It is actually weird because it was the first time for me going to the show in 5 years. So I've been to the show twice before, so this was my 3rd time, but the first time of me actually showing. And I haven't shown in over a year because I moved to the UK, so I didn't have the time to show over there or here. So it was really hectic and strange at some points, but I actually did quite well for the competition. And again, I met so many amazing people. I met all my friends again, so I had a blast. But yeah, that's it basically. I mean, I could keep on talking about the show over and over again, but honestly, if you're in Europe and if it's not too expensive for you to come over, I would definitely suggest you to come and see it yourself. Obviously, I will link all the information down below. The show is hosted every year in August. I think next year is even the 20th anniversary, so they might do something special special about that as well. So anyways, that's it basically, and before this video is getting way too long, I'll stop it for now. If you like this video, give this a thumbs up. If you haven't already, subscribe to my channel and watch some of my other videos if you want to, and I will hopefully see you guys very soon. Bye!